Hi everybody, in this video we're going through the homework for Term 2, Week 5. I noticed that we've got a formula sheet at the top of the page and that's great, we'll be referring to that as we need to. Okay, question 1. This composite shape is made up of a triangle and a parallelogram. We are to find the area of the triangle. Well, I go to my formula sheet and I find the formula for the area of a triangle. Area is equal to base times height over 2. Now, I need to find now what the base is. Well, the base here is not, I'm not actually told what that is, but I can go and look. I've got a parallelogram here, and this here is 8 centimetres. So with a parallelogram, those two are the same. So my base of my triangle is also 8. What's the height of the triangle? That's this one here. 8 times 4.5, and then don't forget to divide by 2. Pop that in my calculator. And the area is 18 centimetres squared. Put it there. Next, I'm asked to find the area of the parallelogram. Firstly, I go up to my formula sheet and I write the formula. Area is equal to base times height. What is the base? It's this one here, 8. And what is the height over here? 2.7. Pop that in my calculator, 8 times 2.7. And that gives me 21.6 centimetres squared. Now I need to add them together to find the area of the shape. 18 plus 21.6, because what I'm doing here, I'm finding the area of the whole shape, which is the top part and the bit. So I'm just adding them. 18 plus 21.6, which gives me 39.6, and our units are given there, centimetres squared. Okay, we're now up to question 2. Here it is here. Consider this composite shape, this L shape. I've got to find the length of side X. Well, how am I going to do that? Here is X here. And I know that because this is made up of rectangles, that X is going to be the same as that one and that one, both of the horizontal ones. So X is going to equal 7 plus 13, and 7 plus 13 is 20 centimetres. Now I need to find next Y. So what's Y? Well, Y is a vertical one. So here's Y here. I'm going to say that plus that vertical one there is going to be the same as this vertical one over here. So 15 plus Y is equal to 23. Let's work that out. 15 plus Y is equal to 23. How am I going to work out Y? I'm going to say 23, take away 15, and that will give us 8. Okay, I'm going to actually just put those ones in here. Side X, that is 20. And side Y, that's 8. So I've got those in there. Now, next I've got to find the perimeter of the shape. And how do I find the perimeter? I just add up all the sides. So I think I'm going to start here and I'm going to come around this way. 7 plus 15 plus 13 plus this way it was 8. Over here it was 20. And up here it's 23. I'm going to just put all that in my calculator. And that gives me 86 centimetres. Now, next we've got the same shape, but we're interested in finding its area. The way we're going to do that is we cut it up, and look, they've actually cut it for us. And we've cut this bit here. So that's going to be shape A. So shape A is a rectangle, and I've got to find the area of that. Well, how do I find the area of a rectangle? Area equals length times width. Now, what's its length? Its length is all the way down there. It's not this bit here. That's not all the way down, is it? It's the all the way down one. That's going to be 23. And what's its width? It's just this bit here. Across there is 7. 23 times 7. And that's 161 square centimetres for that one. Now we're after shape B, which is this one in here. Rectangle B. How do I find the area of a rectangle? Area equals length times width. Okay, well, how long is it? It's this distance here. It's 13 long. Oh, how high is it? Oh, it's Y high. What did we say that Y was? Just look up a bit. It's 8. So I've got 13 times 8, and that's 104. Now, I want to find the total area. How am I going to find the total area? That's where I'm just going to add them together. 161 plus 104, pop that in my calculator, and that gives me 265 square centimetres. Now, this next one it's the same kind of thing, but I've got to do it myself. So it says find the perimeter of this shape. We've got a new shape here. Begin by finding x and y and then add up the sides. Well, how am I going to find x? Comes all the way down here. How will I find x? Well, x is going to be that bit there plus that bit there. So it's going to be 3 and 6, which is 9. Now I've got to find y. How am I going to find y? Let's look. We've got 5 all the way along there. That bit's 3. What does that have to be? Bit. So it's going to be 3 plus y is 5. What's y going to be? 3 plus 2 is 5. Okay. Now I've got to add up all the sides. I'm going to start here. I'm going to go across this way. Down this way. 2 is that way. 6 and 3. And another 3. Pop that in my calculator. And that gives me 28, and it's centimetres. Now remember, it's not square centimetres, it's just a length. I'm just adding up all the sides, 28 centimetres. Okay, next I've got to find the area of the shape. I've got to begin by cutting it into 2 pieces. Let me just tidy this up a little bit first. Okay, how could I cut it? I think I'm going to cut it across there. Okay, so I've got shape A here and shape B here. So I've got to find the area of this one. What shape is it? It is a rectangle. So shape A and area is going to equal length times width. How long is that? It's 5 long. How wide is it? Down here, 5 times 3, which gives me 15 square centimetres. Shape B. Oh, how long? Get another colour for this. How long is shape B? It's not 9, because 9 is the whole way. How long is it here? It's going to be 6. So area is length times width equals 6 long, and then what's that bit there? A little bit there is 2. 6 times 2 is 12 centimetres squared. So how am I going to find the total area of all of it? What would I do? I'm going to add up those two. So total area equals 15 plus 12, which is 27 square centimetres. Okay, next we're looking for the circumference of this circle. So I go to my formula sheet, I'm looking for circumference. Circumference equals, and I have a look here and I ask myself, am I given a radius or a diameter? It's just a radius, isn't it? It goes halfway, so I look for the one that has radius in it. Radius equals 2 pi r, 2 times pi times the radius. That's 2 times pi times 8.2. Put that in my calculator. And that gives me 51.52. And it's metres. Next one, I'm after the area. So I have to go to my formula sheet, I look for the circle, and I'm after the area of a circle. Only one option for this one. Pi r squared, which is equal to pi times the radius squared. That's pi times 8.2 squared. Pop that in my calculator. 211.24 metres squared. Now here we've got another circle, but note that this time I'm given a diameter. Remember, diameter is the full way across the circle, all the way across. A radius would only go halfway. So I'm looking for the circumference. So I look for the circumference formula on the formula sheet, and I've got a diameter, so I'm going to look at pi lots of the diameter. So circumference is pi lots of the diameter, pi times 22, which gives me 69.115. We'll round that up to 12 metres. Now, this one here for area, the formula for the area of a circle, make sure you go to your formula sheet every single time, is pi r squared, like that. Now, can you see the problem here? We've got an r here, but here we've got a diameter. So we're going to need to work out what the radius here is. The radius is just halfway. So if the diameter is 22, what's half of 22? It's 11. So the radius is 11, and I need to remember that. Just divide the diameter by 2. So that's going to give pi times 11 squared. Pop that in my calculator. and that's 380.13, and it's meters squared because it's an area. Now, the next one here, I've got a quarter circle. Now, the tricky thing about quarter circles and half circles is I've got to make up myself a formula. I remember that perimeter is kind of like circumference, okay? Circumference is the outside of the whole circle, the distance around the outside. Know that circumference, oh, what am I given here? This is a radius. So I'm going to use the circumference one with the radius. Circumference is equal to 2 times pi times the radius. Now, I don't have the whole circumference of the circle. I've only got a quarter circle. So I'm going to have 2 lots of pi times the radius. That will give me the whole circle. And I'm going to divide that by 4. And if I do that, that will just give me this piece here. But is that all of the perimeter of this shape? It's not, is it? I've also got to add on this piece here. And what do we say that piece was? That was the radius. And I've got to add on this piece here, which is the radius again. So my formula is 2 pi r divided by 4 plus the radius plus the radius. So I'm going to say that equals 2 times pi. Well, what is the radius? 62. Divide all of that by 4, then plus 62, and then plus 62. Now, I just put all of that into my calculator like that. I press the fraction button first, then go 2 times pi times 62, the downwards button, bottom of the fraction, 4. Now go the crossways button, and then plus 62 plus 62. And that gives me 221 let's round it to 39 centimetres there. Next, I've got to find the area of this shape. Well, I know that the area of a full circle is pi r squared. Do I have a full circle? I don't. I've only got a quarter of it, so I'm going to divide it by 4. Now, with area of quarter circles or semicircles, I don't need to add anything on. That's all it is. So I'm going to go pi times the radius, which is 62 squared, divided by 4, and then just put that in my calculator. And that's 3019.07 centimetres squared. Okay, we are now up to the challenge questions. These ones are even harder. Find the area of this shape. You'll need to start by cutting it into 2 shapes. Well, can you see what 2 shapes I've got here? Up the top. What's this that I've got at the top? I've got a semicircle. I'm going to call this bit here shape A, and it's a semicircle. Semicircle is half a circle. So I'm going to have to come up with a formula for that. So area of a full circle would be pi r squared, pi times r squared, but I don't have the full circle. I've only got half of it, so I'm going to divide it by 2. Now, I've got another problem here. This 12 that I've got, what is that? Is that the radius or the diameter? It's the diameter, isn't it? So how am I going to find the radius? Well, I get the diameter, divide it by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So that's going to be pi times the radius, which is 6 squared, divided by 2. Pop that in my calculator. Pi times 6 squared over 2. And that gives me 56.55 centimetres squared. Okay, so that's our semicircle. I found the area of the semicircle. What's next? I've got, what's this shape at the bottom? It's a triangle. It's an upside down triangle. We might think of it as an upside down triangle, but it's still a triangle. I'm going to call this one shape B. And it's a triangle. Okay, what is the area of a triangle? Go back to the formula sheet. Base times height divided by 2. What is the base? This distance all the way across there. What's that? It's 12. How high is it? That's this bit down here. 12 times 15 divided by 2. Type that in my calculator. And that gives me 90. Next, I have to find the total area, which is going to equal 56.55 plus 90. Calculate it. 146.55. Now it's an area, so it's centimetres squared. And there's my answer. Okay, two more tricky questions left, and I think this one here is quite tricky. So I've got here a shape made up of a rectangle, and then a quarter circle has been added to the end. Okay, I've got to find the area. I'm going to cut it into two shapes. I think you can see what two shapes I've got. I've got this one here, and I've got this one here. So this one I'm going to call shape A, this one shape B. So shape A is a rectangle, and I go the area of a rectangle is length times width, which is 7 times 3, which is 21. Okay, that was the easy one. Next I've got shape B. What did we say it was? A quarter circle. Now this is where it gets tricky. Well, what's the area of a quarter circle? I have to go, look on my formula sheet. I have area is equal to pi r squared, but that would be the whole circle. I'm only after a quarter of it, so what am I going to do? I'm going to divide it by 4. Now the tricky thing here is, what is the radius of this circle? Well, here is our quarter circle. The whole thing would come around like that. Can you see that our radius is here and it's also here? What's this distance here? Can you see it's the same as that one? So that's going to be 3. Be 3 there as well. So what we've actually got, our radius here is equal to 3 centimetres. So area is pi times 3 squared over 4. Calculator. And that's 7.07 centimetres squared. Now, how do I work out the total area? Just add those up. And that will give me 28.07 centimetres squared. Okay, now, the next one is trickier. We're going to have to, it says it will take some thinking. Now, we're after the perimeter of this shape. Now, perimeter is the distance around the outside of the shape. Let me clean it up a little bit. We've got here, we know that this bit here is 7. This bit here is 3. What's this bit just to here going to be? That's going to be another 7, isn't it? What about this one here? That's going to be 3. Now, we don't actually need this little measurement there, because that's not actually, you don't need that side, that's not the outside. So far what have we got? We've got perimeter equals 7 plus 3 plus 7 plus 3, and the only bit that we've got left to find is that bit there. That is just a quarter of the circumference. So that's going to be 2 times pi times radius divided by 4, okay? And what is the radius of this circle? We did it before, the radius is 3, so let's just put 3 in there. And then I can put that whole thing into my calculator. 7 plus 3 plus 7 plus 3 plus, hit the fraction button, 2 times pi times 3 over 4. Just like that, put it all in, and it comes to 24.71, and perimeter is just a distance, so it's just centimetres. One question left. This one here, this is a strange shape. So what have we got? We've got a rectangle with a semicircle cut out of it. Now the first things that it wants us to do is find the area of the full rectangle, then find the area of the semicircle, and then we're going to have to take them away. So we've got this here, a full rectangle, but then we're cutting out a semicircle. So we're going to have to find the area of the rectangle. Area equals length times width. The length is 5. Is that across there? The width is 3.5. 5 times 3.5, pop that in my calculator, and that equals 17.5 square centimetres. Now, I've got here next a semicircle. How do I find the area of a semicircle? It's pi times radius squared, and then we're going to divide by 2. But what is the radius? Well, the whole diameter is this distance across there, and that's 5. So what's the radius going to be? It's going to be half that. It's going to be 2.5. So I'm going to say pi times 2.5 squared divided by 2. Half it. Okay, and that gives me 9.82 centimetres squared. Now the total area this time, this is not adding them together. This is subtracting because the semicircle has been cut out. So the area is going to equal 17.5, take away 9.82. And that gives me 7.68 centimetres squared. Okay, next part here asks us for the perimeter of the shape. Okay, how are we going to do that? Well, perimeter is the distance around the outside. So let's start by thinking we've going this bit here, that's 3.5. That bit there is 5. What's this bit down here? Well, that's going to be 3.5, isn't it? So far I've got 3.5 plus 5 plus 3.5. And then what do I need to do next? I need to come that bit there, that semicircle. So that is actually just, well, the whole, we'd have pi times diameter would give us the whole circumference of a circle. We've only got a semicircle, so we're going to divide it by 2. And what is the diameter? All of this distance here? That's 5, isn't it? Plus 5, that's right, like that. So I'm just going to put this all in my calculator. 3.5 plus 5 plus 3.5 plus fraction button pi times 5 over 2 equals. And that gives me 19.85 and its perimeter, which is just a length of just centimetres. Okay, I hope you went well with that. Can I encourage you, if you found it challenging, those last few questions were hard, go and do it all over again and see if you can get it done by yourself.